Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where, in case you couldn't tell, I'm very excited because I'm going to talk about the Dream concert. If you were unaware, it just means you didn't watch my last video, but basically I saw Dream. As of right now, I saw them yesterday. By the time you see this, I will have seen them 2 days ago, unless you watch this like after the day it was posted. I saw them on Friday, April 21st at the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. That's all you need to know. And yes, I got a hoodie. It says NCT DREAM on the front. It has like the In a Dream thing on the back. And on this sleeve, it has like all the places they went. It was not worth the money, but emotionally it was. Anyway, here's my plan for this video. I have essentially no notes. Next to me, I have the set list. I have a couple of notes, like just items I feel like I need to mention. And then also I don't have a list of the members. I just know the members of NCT DREAM. So my plan is we're going to just run through the members, what I thought of each one of them during the concert. We're going to run through the set list. We're going to run through some various points at various points in the set list when they become naturally relevant. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about it because I had the time of my life and I want to talk about it more. Before I begin though, just a heads up, the standard one that I always have to give, these are just opinions. If you also saw the concert, you can be like, oh no, that stage sucked. That stage that you didn't love was amazing. Like, you can disagree with everything I say. Also, just as fair warning, I may be giving some opinions about members that you will be offended by. Not my problem. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to start off before we get into the set list by just going through the members, and we're going to go in age order because it's the easiest way to pretend to be unbiased, which means first up, we have Mark Lee. Now, potentially controversial or somewhat offensive opinion on Mark Lee. I can't take that man seriously. I really can't. Like, he has this weird vibe of him. Here's how I've described it in the past, and I feel like it's fitting. It's like you took a church boy, okay? Put him in, like, the frattiest of frats. Then made him a wannabe rapper, but also a stoner. Like, it's this weird culmination of things that gives Mark Lee this persona that I can't take seriously if my life depended on it. And he was no different at the concert. Like, he thanked God on multiple occasions. It was really funny, actually. Like, I cackled as some... We're not getting into my opinions on God. I cackled. That's all you need to know. He thanked God at least once, plus said, God bless all of you. It was really funny. So there's that. He also just, like, he's Mark Lee. Like, he says these things and I'm just like, that's Mark Lee. I can't take Mark Lee seriously. He was somewhat amusing at various points, but in general, it was exactly what I expected Mark Lee to be. Next member is Renjun. Renjun, for the record, very cute, just in human form. Very cute boy. I knew that going in. I wasn't surprised by that, but like, my friend and I, the bestie, we always joke he's the ingenuest of ingenues, and he really is also. He had this, like, his hair looked very good. There's one point where he was wearing, like, a backwards baseball cap, a look I normally hate. He worked. He worked it. He was very cute. Also, while we're talking about Renjun, his quiet down fit, we're gonna get to quiet down, don't you worry, but his quiet down fit, very good. The next member is Jeno, and as I say this, I realize, it's Jeno's birthday the day that I'm posting this, so happy birthday to Jeno. Hear me out, the bestie and I, right, we saw BAP live, like, a while ago now. It was oh my god, we saw BAP live 7 years ago. Anyway, we saw BAP live, and BAP, when we saw them live, Jungkook looked really good in person, so now whenever we see a new group, we always joke, we're like, who's gonna be the Jungkook? To me, Jeno was the Jungkook. He looked so good during this concert. Favorite look, if you were wondering, you shouldn't be surprised by this. It was, you've seen it on Twitter, I assume. It's like the black with the cutouts and the dog collar. It was a moment. I gasped, I gagged, I shook, and I shot. I was losing it, especially because from my seat, where they were standing, because they were on like the extension to the stage, and my seat was more towards the stage itself. So we had a really good view of them from the back. It was a moment. Next, we have my boy, Mr. Lee Dong-hyuk. And he was giving, he was serving, he had black hair for this concert. I forgot how much I liked him with black hair. Like, he looked so good. There were various points that I was just taken aback. Also, I gave my lungs a workout during that night. I was gonna film this last night, like post-concert. The way I described it to the bestie is that it sounds like my throat was fisted. And that's an accurate description. Like, I don't know if you can still tell, my voice right now is still not totally great. But, like, it's mostly better. Last night, it sounded like I was going through puberty again. Like, I lost it. That's not the point. The point is, Dong-hyuk gave his lungs a workout. That man was belting for his life, and every single note hit. And he came to my side also, like, right at the start. He was the first one to come to, like, that corner that I was sitting near, and I screamed. Next, I would say the most popular member there, based off the screams that he got, which was Jaemin. First of all, to the bestie, because I'm making the bestie watch this, Your Jamin moment, I will not be forgetting her at any point in time. I will never let you live down the fact that you lost your mind over that man. But also, he did look really good. There were various points. I know Twitter was like obsessed with certain outfits he had through the night. I didn't see the vision for a lot of them, but he did just in general look really good. Also, there was one moment because like I was relatively near the front of like not the venue itself because there was GA that I was not in, but my seats were like right by one of the corners of the stage. And I swear, Jamin stared into my soul at one point and was like dancing at me because I was also dancing like in the aisle. It was a thing. The point is, me and Jamin had a moment. We're spiritually connected, but also there's no life going on behind those eyes. Next, the member who like just surprised me the most, which was Channel. Yes, I call him Channel. No, I'm not changing it. You just have to deal with it. But Channel, very cute in person. Also, his voice, a lot higher pitched than I was expecting, but that's not the point. He was actually just like, he was honestly giving, I didn't love his hair, but other than the hair, he was really giving, like, personality-wise, he was really cute. I might have to become a Channel stan. We'll see how I feel at a later date. Lastly, we have Jisung, and Jisung was everything I was expecting. First of all, we're gonna get to it too, but Trigger the Fever, right? He was, like, right in my corner for one of the Trigger the Fever choruses. That boy can dance. I was describing it like this, because the bestie was, like, obviously, like, Jamin was giving dance-wise, because she was having a Jamin moment, and I described it like this, and I feel like it's fitting. Jamin is, like, key, where, like, he can learn a dance, but he's not intuitively a dancer in the way Taemin is, because Taemin's like Jisung, where it's, like, he's just intuitively a phenomenal dancer. Jisung's dancing the entire night was a giving, at least when I was staring at him, which was admittedly not that often. I did have other more important people to me at the moment, but like whenever he was in that corner, I would be watching him, and he was giving, but also personality-wise, like he was giving everything I expected. Okay, now that we have the members out of the way, we can get into the set list. So they started with a VCR. I have nothing to say about this VCR. There's only really one VCR I'm going to talk about, but we'll get to her later. Started with a VCR. It wasn't that important. They also came out with the way the stage was set up and my seat was. There were think about it this way, okay? There was screens here and here, and then here in the middle, there was like a screen that was pushed back more, and I couldn't see in there. Like if they were further back than like the edge of that, I just couldn't see them whatsoever. So like as they were coming out, they were coming out in that area, which meant I couldn't actually see them as they came out, and then they would like walk down, and then I could see them again, and it was fine. It was fine, because I could still see them. Also, again, first choreo moment, Donghyuk came to my side, so that was nice. But I just couldn't see them. But then once they came out, it was fine. And then they started off by doing glitch mode. I had fun to glitch mode, I won't deny it. Like, it's not my favorite Dream song, it never really will be. But I had fun. After that, they did Countdown, which was honestly a moment, if I'm being honest. Like, I knew I was gonna go off the Countdown. I wasn't surprised when I did. But then they did Stronger. And I feel like Stronger is when I first really started to lose my sanity. And I started to lose my voice. Because I went insane to Stronger for unknown reasons. Like, The Besties convinced it's a good song. I disagree. But I will say, they did also start Stronger off with this, like, VCR. And I was like, oh, is Stronger a VCR instead of, like, an actual, like, song? Because I knew it was the last song of, like, this chunk of songs. So I was like, oh, maybe they're going to change and then come out and then do, like, a ment and then go into the next set of songs. No. It was just, like, 30 seconds of a VCR so they could take off their jackets, which was fine, because then we got the Jeno look, which reminds me, I forgot to mention, the Besties requiring me to mention the fact that Jeno had no brows. Bestie, this is for you, you better like the video. After that, they did a ment, which was fine. The only really important thing I learned during this ment was that, at least in the venue that I do not know about any other venues, but I've been to multiple concerts there, because, like, it's Climate Pledge Arena, it's, like, the big venue in Seattle. And apparently they have screens along the edge, which had what the members were saying during their ment. Now, to be clear, I'm not going to pretend that it's all, like, off-the-cuff comments. Obviously, they've memorized what they're going to say beforehand. I just didn't realize they were reading directly off a screen the entire time. And it had the song lyrics. Like, it was a game changer. Post-ment, they did Dreaming. And I went absolutely nuts. Now, I knew, again, if you watch my last video, which was, like, me ranking my levels of hypeness for each of the songs, you'll know I was really, really excited for Dreaming. I was not ready. I was not emotionally or psychologically ready. I lost my mind to Dreaming. Like, every fiber of my being, I lost my mind. After that, they did do Deja Vu, which was fun. I thought the background music was really fun. It's definitely a song that's less aggressive live. But, like, it definitely, after Dreaming, it just wasn't the same. After that, they did the second VCR, which is the VCR I want to talk about. This VCR was nuts, okay? Here was the plotline of this VCR, okay? It was the not Jisung members, so the other 6, were, like, I almost want to say like inside out guides type of thing. They were watching Jisung, okay? And it was like he woke up and he got a text. And the whole thing was that he was texting the end citizens, like the Citizens who were like, that was just it. And he was texting them. And I guess they texted and they were like, oh, do you want to get dinner? And he was like, yeah, I don't have anything to do, which made Renjun offended because Renjun was like, what? It's my birthday, which I guess it made sense at the time because like it was probably closest to Renjun's birthday when they filmed it. But, like, watching it with all... Because at my concert, there were a bunch of Happy Birthday Jeno things going on because his birthday was 2 days later. So it was amusing to me that they didn't really think through the fact that, like, by the time the tour's over, it's basically going to be Jeno's birthday. Whatever, that's not the point. The point was, Jisung was like, oh, I want to get, like, dinner or whatever. And then Girly texts him back. And it's like, oh, I meant to text this to someone else. And then it got weird. Because Jisung started to cry. And you might be like, oh, that's not weird. The way they had him crying... I understand it was, like, supposed to be comedic. It was like they just turned on a faucet, which made me obviously joke that he was pissing, because there was a lot of liquid. But, like, it was just an all-around weird experience. Then they did My First and Last, which was really fun. It was really cute. My only complaint was really, it goes for this entire chunk of songs, honestly, which is that on my corner, they basically put these steps where they were supposed to be sitting on. Like, that's where they were sitting on at various points during the concert. The problem is... it was, like, angled towards the rest of the venue for obvious reasons, but it meant that a lot of the time I was looking at their back, which I don't really love, but, like, whatever, it's fine. I could still see them. I could see them very well, for the record. Like, my seats, I went a little ham, but it was worth it. My point is, though, like, the song was cute and it was fun. After that, they did Buy My First and Love Again. I'm going to do them together because I have very similar thoughts on both of them. They were cute. They were fun. I enjoyed them. I didn't go quite as ham as I did to My First and Last, but, like, I still did enjoy myself. Then, in a depressing turn of fate, they did To My First, which isn't the depressing part. The depressing part is this is probably my most disappointing stage of the night. Like, to me, I was the most disappointed because I love this song as a song. It's one of my favorite Dream songs. The problem is, and I didn't think this through, like, in retrospect, I should have been able to figure this out. It doesn't really work as, like, a concert song in the way that I would want it to, and it was a little bit boring. I was still going off, don't get me wrong, I was going off, but I was a little bit disappointed. Then there was another VCR. I have no memory of what this VCR was about, so we're going to move on to the next song, which was the first of the unit songs. They did Sorry Heart, which is, like, a vocal line song, and it was cute. It's a ballad, so, like, not much happened. They just stood in the middle of the stage and sang. It was fine. After that, they did another Meant, where I don't remember what was said with the solo excerpt being. I remember they did this joke. They do it a couple times. They do it at least one more time to my knowledge, where they were like, oh, what's the next song? Oh, I don't know what the next song is. Jisung, do you know the next song? Oh, I don't know. Jaemin, what's the next song? Me being intimately aware of the set list had me standing there being like, oh, the next song is Puzzle Piece. The next song is Puzzle Piece. And then I was like, okay, yeah, it's Puzzle Piece. And they were like, yeah, it's Puzzle Piece. And for Puzzle Piece, this was funny only to me. They sat down on, like, the edge of the extension. Annoying, I couldn't see. But they sat down at the edge and Mark was like, hey, so the camera can film our faces. We need to lower the signs. But the problem was a lot of people didn't. Or, like, they'd lower them, like, a little bit, but enough that they were still fully in frame when the camera was on certain members. So, like, you would be reading these signs and you'd see, like, the tops of people's heads. It was just really fun. Following Puzzle Piece, they did Chewing Gum and just chef's kiss to Chewing Gum. It was so fun. It was so cute. I loved it so much. I had an unabashed moment to Chewing Gum. I'm probably never going to enjoy that song to the same extent ever again in my entire life. But for this one moment, I really, 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 really loved it. The next song they did was A&L, or as I refer to her very lovingly, Miss Anal. It was so fun. It was so fun. I had the absolute time of my life to this song. Like, I was just jamming my heart out in the aisle. Also, for what it's worth, I could have mentioned this earlier. I don't really think I need to, but the person behind me was also, like, filming a lot in the aisle, which means I guarantee the top of my head is in, like, all of her footage. And if you're watching this, I'm not sorry. I stand by all my actions. You should have filmed higher. Anyway, post-anal was Dive Into You. It was fun. It was cute. They had weird whales in the background. That was strange. I didn't like that because it was only on, like, one side. And now that I say this aloud, actually, it probably went into the middle that I just couldn't see. But from my angle, it looked weird. None of that matters, though. None of that matters because we've reached the middle song, like, the exact center. Like, there were 29 songs. This is song number 15, which was Irreplaceable. For those who don't know, Irreplaceable, one of the most hype. Like, I was the most hype for this song. And it did not disappoint. I lost it. I lost it. I really did. I transcended reality for a bit. The bestie can confirm this. I lost my mind during Irreplaceable. Like, truly and utterly lost my entire goddamn mind. Haechan also at the end, because he has all those notes at the end, he slayed. He slayed the girlies. He did. I'm mad the bestie didn't get it, like, on camera because she recorded a lot of the song. She didn't record that part. So, bestie, flop behavior. But it's fine. I'm not a, like, big filmer at concerts anyway. I like to live in the moment. So, like, I'm not overly disappointed she didn't film it, but, like, I'm kind of disappointed, but it's fine. I still had the absolute time of my life. After that was a VCR for Drive, which the only thing I could remember the entire time was that whole thing with, like, the fat phobia between Jeno and Haechan. Who remembers? Who remembers the weird fat phobia thing that lasted 12 hours on Twitter? Because I do. It's fine. It's fine. The VCR, it was for Drive, like the song Drive. It was fun. It just, I would have preferred they did the song live, but whatever. Then they did Saturday Drip, and true story, I forgot they were doing Saturday Drip because I was checking my phone for the set list, like, every single Ment or VCR just to be like, okay, this is the next chunk of songs. And I don't know what happened. I saw them put the boxes, actually. I can tell you what happened. They put the boxes out for Quiet Down, and I definitely saw them, and I was just like, oh, Quiet Down is next. And then I was, like, all ready for Quiet Down, and then they did Saturday Drip, so I was slightly disappointed, but, like, it was actually, frankly, Saturday Drip, probably, like, top 3 or top 5 stages of the night. It was so fun. Like, I stand by, it's not a very good song, definitely a fun song, definitely a great concert song, because, like, it was fun. It was so fun. I was having an absolute moment. Okay. It's time to talk about Quiet Down, and, I need to know who thought of the stage. I need to know who conceptualized and choreographed this stage, and I want to give them a Nobel Prize. I want to give them all the Nobel Prizes. I want to make them president of everything. This stage, my God, I've seen many a performance in my life. This really might be the best one that I've ever seen. That's a lie. I've seen View Live. But it's up there for sure. Like, for the record, I was right. I said this in my last video with the ranking the Dream songs. I was on the side with Haechan and Jeno. Haechan and Jeno are my top 2 in Dream. So I was living, and it was an absolute moment. Like, my only complaint, this is going to be a dumb complaint, but, like, I stand by it. My only complaint, Haechan's facing, like, towards the middle of the stage, which means from my angle, I basically saw the back of his head. Did it matter? No, it did not, because I could still see all the choreo really well. Jeno, Haechan, they all slayed the stage. Let's be real. Quiet Down, greatest stage Dream has ever done, but, like, I spent, like, a solid 90% of this stage staring in shock. I don't even think I was, like, singing or dancing to this song. I think I was truly in shock. I described it this way to the bestie. It felt like my soul exited my body, entered the astral plane, exploded, and then, like, various fragments, but not the whole thing, came back to my body, and the rest of it is just still up there trying to comprehend what I witnessed off in the astral plane. Because this stage, I was not emotionally prepared. Like, I thought I was ready for it. I was not ready for it. And frankly, it's been like 24 hours since it happened, and I still haven't recovered. After that, they did Better Than Gold, which is another slay stage. They started out by, like, taking off the jackets they were wearing during Quiet Down and putting on these really nice black jackets. And they had, like, this little microphone moment with these mic stands. It was really cute. And then they went off to the middle part of the stage. For the record, every time they were in, like, the extension part of the stage, I was a little bitter because I just couldn't see as well. But, like, it's fine. They went off to the extension stage. It was fun. It's a really fun song. I had the time of my life. I just wish they were more, like, towards me. After that was Diggity. I have nothing to say about Diggity. I was right when I predicted that it was probably gonna be a song that I didn't like very much, and I was right. Like, it's a fine song. It just wasn't as fun. Was I having fun? Of course, but, like, I have nothing to say about it. We've entered title territory, and they start off title territory with Raiden. It was great. This and Boom. You know what? Raiden, phenomenal. Like, 10 out of 10 experience. Onto Boom, another, like, 25 out of 10 experience. For those who don't know, I got into Dream for Boom era. Like, Boom was my first real comeback with Dream. And I have a lot of nostalgia for that song. It's also their best original title, which meant just all around I was here for it. And for both Raiden and Boom, I noticed they didn't give Mark a ton of lines. Like, I was wondering a couple days ago, like, before the concert, I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with Mark, because these songs were recorded as OT6, but now Mark is there. They honestly just didn't give him any lines. I don't know. I don't actually remember. I should have paid better attention. I don't remember if they gave him a bunch of lines in, like, the Boom and Reload B-sides, but I know for the titles, he had, like, 1 or 2 lines in each song, and that was it, and I actually really liked that. Not that I'm a Mark Lee hater, but like I think it just really fit what I was expecting, because I was expecting like, oh, this is Haechan's line, this is Renjun's line, this is Jeno's line, whatever, and they just pretty much kept it that way, and I really like that. Then VCR, again, no memories of the VCR. After that, they did Hello Future. Hello Future, so cute, so fun. They also did it on like the main stage part of the stage, which made me very happy because it's the part I could see better. But also like, I was having the time of my life to Hello Future. I do love Hello Future as a song, which definitely helped. But like, it was just so cute and it was so fun. After that was We Go Up, and I think I once again entered the astral plane for We Go Up. Like, We Go Up, the bestie was also wearing her We Go Up shirt, which probably just made it more fun. But like, it was a moment. Like, I'm sorry, We Go Up was an absolute moment, at least for me, because like, the nostalgia was there. It's also a really fun song, so there was that. And also, I lost it a little bit. Speaking of losing it, then they did my second favorite stage of the night, which was Trigger the Fever. For those who don't know, Trigger the Fever, best Dream song. Not actually, but like definitely up there. One of the best Dream songs. And if not for Quiet Down, just being the immaculate masterpiece it is, this would have been the best stage of the night. It was an absolute moment. Like, first of all, for the first chorus, Renjun was on our side. The besties are Renjun's dance, so that made her very happy. Then Jisung was on our side. I like Jisung, again, best dancer in NCT, so like, that made me really happy. All around, I was just really happy. And you could tell they were just having so much fun to it, too. I feel like Trigger the Fever was really made for concerts. Like, there are songs, right? Like, we've all been to concerts, assuming we've been to concerts. But we've all been to concerts in theory where it's like, you can tell the difference between a song where it's like, you're going to do the choreo and you have no idea what else is going on and you don't care. You're only going to do the choreo. And then there are the songs where it's like, you're just going to have fun. Like, yes, you're going to do the choreo, obviously, but, like, you're also going to have fun with it. That's what Trigger the Fever was. It was a really fun song. The members, you could tell, were just having the time of their lives also. Like, they were having fun. I was having an absolute moment. I believe I cried at several points during this song. It was a moment. Then they did their first of the last songs. They had 3 last songs. So, like, the first one was Hot Sauce. And then the entire time they were like, okay, we're done. And I was like, you're not done. But Hot Sauce, I did have fun. I was expecting to. I still hate the song a lot. But I did have a lot of fun to it, so I will give it that. After that, they did like a VCR encore thing. It wasn't really a VCR. They just like panned through the crowd at various points, which leads me to the greatest moment of this concert. There was a sign that was panned to that said lesbians for Renjun. Best sign ever. They get it. I don't know if the person who made the sign is watching this video. I'm assuming no, but like if you are, you have visions. You're a queen, an icon, and a legend, and we stan. That said, I was mad they did Rainbow as like it was just the song Rainbow playing over this. It was a little bit like emotional because like it is a very emotionally jarring song. Not jarring, but like emotionally triggering song for me. But, like, I wish they'd done it live. That's not the point. My point is, after that, they did Beatbox. Specifically the English version. To be fair, I stand by this. I wanted someone to fuck up at some point and start doing the Korean version. A couple members did fuck up at various points in, like, just the concert. They didn't mess up here. I wanted them to start doing the Korean version so bad. They did not, but it was fine. I love Beatbox. I think it's a really fun song, and I had a lot of fun with it. Then they did another Met. This is where Mark thanked God. But after that, they did My Youth, and then they did Walk You Home. I'm going to do them both together. I blacked out for these songs. I have no memory of what happened. To be fair, I know at some point in these songs that people like started throwing shit on stage, which brings me to my next fun story. Some girl, because the section next to me was empty because like no one would have sat, like, let me rephrase, people would have sat there, but like you would have had a really bad view. So it wasn't like they just didn't sell seats for it. And some girl ran down to like throw something on stage, like it was some plush or something, and she missed. And the staff people who were down there, like, saw it and picked it up and just, like, put it off to the side because they didn't just want to leave it on the ground in the area where they were all walking. And then Girly, like, ran off, like, in shame because she missed. And then came back, like, a minute later and was like, oh, can you hand me that thing that I threw? And the people who worked at the venue were like, okay. So they handed it to her and she threw it back on stage. And then security was like, can you please stop? And, like, escorted her somewhere, either back to her seat or out of the building. So that's my only story about it, but for the most part, people were throwing shit. I blacked out. Also, during Walk You Home specifically, they were like, this is our last song, and then they left the stage, which made me insanely angry, because, for starters, this is their second of 3 final songs. I knew Candy was on the set list. Like, the set list that I have right over here, it's right here. But the set list that I have, like the set list I was using this entire concert, had Candy on it. So I was like, if they're not doing Candy, I'm gonna get really fucking mad. And then the lights didn't turn on, so I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna do Candy. And everyone was like chanting Candy. And in my brain, I was like, oh, maybe they're getting into the Candy fits. That would be really cute. I remember when I saw Shiny, 1 was like part of their encore, and they put on the 1 outfits for that. I thought it was going to be that. They just put on the gloves, and that was it. So I was a little bit disappointed, but it was fine. Candy, I had a moment. I had the time of my life. I saw all the cute Renjun moments. I love the song also. It's my favorite Dream title. And it was a moment. It was such a good ending to the concert. To be fair, I think Walk You Home actually would have been a better ending. I won't deny it. Like, I remember thinking when I was convinced that it was going to be the last song and I was going to have to throw things of violent reasons. I was like, oh, fine, Walk You Home. It's going to be a cute last song. Like, it would fit. And then they did Candy, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's perfect. Like, I feel satisfied. But just, all you need to know is I had a lot of fun to Candy, and that's where my voice died. Candy is where my voice died. My voice survived. Really, it survived for the most part fine up until, like, Quiet Down. And then it got pretty bad up until, like, Beatbox. And then the encore, it hurt to speak. Anyway, that's my review of the Dream concert. If I had to give it a score, I would give it, like, a 9.6 out of 10. There are certain songs I wish they'd done that they didn't do, but we didn't talk about that in this video, and we're not going to. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts down below. Let me know if you went to Dream, and if you did, like, what your favorite stage was. There is a right answer. The right answer is Quiet Down. But you can let me know your second favorite stage. That one is up for debate, I suppose. But you can let me know whatever you want in the comments. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I'll be okay either way. You can also follow me on Twitter at @_album reviews. I will link that in the description, along with the tier list I made, ranking the set list, and just a bunch of NCT album reviews. And I'm not going to say my magnum opus because it's not, but it is 2.5 hours long. It's my history of NCT. I run through the history of NCT up until, like, the end of 2022. So you can check all that out if you so choose. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!